Okay, so hold on. This story takes place about a year, a little over a year after I was put into the system. And so I was in a home school for girls, and they let you come home on the holidays if you made level. And this was my home visit for Christmas. All right, on with the story. All right, so I'm 15 years old, and I'm on a home visit because this is Christmas weekend or Christmas week, whatever, the Christmas break from where I was. And so, chilling with my mom, we all having a good time. My mom and my grandmother, her mother, we were all together, and my grandmother gets a phone call. And so it was my uncle who worked at the neighboring hospital. And so my grandmother had something to tell my mother. We all get in the car and we go to drop my grandmother off. She lived in the project right across the street from my father's mother. And, she relays the message to my mother. So, my mother told me go in the house and get the plate of food for her that my grandmother made. And so bringing the plate out, I get in the car. My mother say, I got to tell you something. I ain't thinking nothing of it. All right, what you got? She says, your father passed away today. Now, just 2 days ago, I was, talking big smack about my father because I don't know. I guess 15, I was grown in my mind, and saying what he never did for me, and who are you? I had just finished, saying a couple of things that I should not have said on the phone or whatever, and so when she broke this news to me, it was just like, what? I don't even know where this burst came from, but I just started screaming, crying, and just like wailing. It just came from out of nowhere. And so I get out the car and I'm out. So it's nighttime. It's not. I can't even remember what time of the night, but it's dark. Definitely dark. I'm in the projects, but this is where I grew up at. And I'm walking the streets, and my mind is just all over the place. I'm walking the streets. I meet up with two of my cousins, which were younger than me. One is 1 year younger than me. The other was 2. So we walk in the streets. Mind you, I'm 15. So there's 15, 14, and 13. Walking the streets at night. And, I decided to get me something to drink. That wasn't what kids should be drinking. So I'm drinking it, and I don't care. I'm walking the streets and drinking. And so we get to the corner of the projects, and I'm hearing a little whispering. I believe it was coming from my cousins. This guy that I had beef with at the time, who was older than me, and he was in a gang, was like around us. So, I'm like, ain't nobody doing nothing over here. So I keep going. We keep walking. This year, the snow was up so high. It had piled up so high that you could walk past it and the snow was like literally up to your stomach. You know what I'm saying? So I'm walking across the street, walking back towards my grandmother's house. And this guy that I had beef with, he stepped to me, but he wasn't alone. It could have been about, I'ma just say about 7, 8 people. You know, I just know I was surrounded, and all dudes. I'm 15. They could have been anywhere from 18 to 23, because the guy that was that stepped to me was like 23. So stepped to me, all in my face. You know, I'm half hearing what he's saying. He beefing in my face because somebody told him I tried to set him up, and you know, oh, you trying to get me, get me killed, all of this stuff. So he starts slapping me, back slapping me. Now I'm pushed up against the snow. His friend, I hear, check her pockets. What she got? So I'm just, I had extensions of my hair up in a ponytail, and ain't had no jewelry because I wasn't like that, so they wasn't gonna get nothing. But they was checking my pockets. So while I'm getting slapped up and thrown around on this snow pile, the other guys are checking me, you know, seeing what they could get. So, you know, I'm not even thinking about my cousins at this point, because I realized, oh, I done stepped in something. This is, you know, you wake up, you know, your mind is everywhere. You drunk or whatever, and somebody snap you to life. You like, oh, okay. So I'm getting slapped, and I hear something on the right side. Some guy came to his window and yelled, "Leave her alone," or whatever. So this guy must have been somebody that the guy that I had beef with was had respect for, because he's yelling back, "Oh, she trying to set me up," all this other stuff. This guy who's trying to save me from the window end up coming downstairs. So by the time he came downstairs, they decided to let me go. I don't know where my cousins is at. I'm just, you know, crying. I had a patch of hair right over here missing. He pulled out some of my braids. I mean, pulled it out to the root, okay? And I'm just like, you know, disheveled, making my way home. So I get to my father's mother's house. So, you know, all the family is over there. It's right across the street from my mother's mother. All the family is over there because of the news that they had. So my uncles, you know, these are they was married into the family. My 2 uncles is like, what happened? What's going on with you? I'm quite sure that my cousins had ran home and told them, you know, I was outside getting beat up. So they went outside and found the guys and brought them back to where we was. When they get there, everybody's in the hallway and trying to figure out what happened. How did it get this far? You know, you crazy. Everybody's saying something. So the guy who I had beef with was like, "Hey, don't look. I could have killed her if I wanted to." Then he pulled up his shirt and he had a gun in his waistband. So he was like, "I could have killed her." You know what I'm saying? Who you need to be worried about is her cousin, because they was the one that texted me and let me know where I could find her at. Then he pulled out his beeper. It wasn't no cell phones, it was beeper. He pulled out his beeper and showed the phone number that came up multiple times before we had went on our little stroll up the block. So everybody was like, it was just like, oh my God. But needless to say, we got past it. No charges were filed, everybody just, you know, left everybody alone, and you know, went on with living. But you can imagine that had a scar on me and the other cousin that didn't set me up. Kind of scarred them too for a pretty long time. But I'm still here.